FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Welcome, and you are listening to the Financial Survival Network. I'm Kerry Lutz. It is October 20th, 2017. I'm broadcasting from L.A., out here on a couple of meetings. Big news coming up, but you'll hear more about that at some point in the future. But for right now, wrote an article about Trump killing the MSM, the mainstream media. Oh, before I forget, email us, kl@kerrylutz.com, kl@kerrylutz.com. So anyway, wrote an article about Trump, what he's been doing to bring down the media. And look, profits are down at CBS Sunday Football, which has also resulted in a reduction in their earnings. Viewership's down 17%, if you can believe it. And much to everyone's surprise, except, of course, my surprise, the NFL's ratings continue to implode. And this is bad news for Trump's sworn enemy, the MSM. Just recently, like I said, CBS's earnings down. Everybody's earnings are down. Everybody's ratings are down, and they're going to continue to go down because this is just the nature of the battle. The battle is the MSM is trying to make something that's inherently unpopular, in the players kneeling for the national anthem, for not respecting the flag. The MSM thinks they can make it into something popular. Wrong. Wise generals know that to succeed in war, you must always attempt to choose your battlefield. Clearly, Trump's enemies have not figured out this wise piece of military wisdom. As usual, they fall into every trap he artfully baits for them. How can so-called intelligent businessmen be so blinded by their rage and disgust for our commander-in-chief that they keep making such obvious forced errors? Trump's battlefield is Twitter, social media. He is the Ulysses S. Grant of a new breed of social media scorched earth policies. Currently, let's do the math here. The networks pay the NFL nearly $5 billion per year. And that's based upon their ability to make huge profits selling advertising. So let's assume that their collective profits on this contract are $5 billion per year, which would mean they sell $10 billion worth of advertising, realize a gross profit on that time that they're selling of $5 billion. Not real unreasonable profit margin when you get down to it. It could potentially be a lot higher. We don't know, but that's a guess. So a 17% decline in viewership is going to translate into an $850 million decline in ad revenues. Their collective loss is already closing in on close to $1 billion. Now, I know that some of the other networks, Fox, NBC, ESPN, have claimed that their viewership is not down as much as CBS's. I don't believe it. I think that people are just deserting the NFL and the networks in droves. And in addition, there's every reason to believe that this is just the start. A recently leaked NFL memo and study revealed that should the national anthem protest continue, the damage to the league's prestige and its standing in American contemporary society is going to be damaged beyond the point of no return, and so will the mainstream media's partners' profits. I mean, this is where it's heading. So my advice to anyone is never underestimate Trump's declaration of a Twitter war with an adversary. It's all very deliberate, and it's extremely effective. Whether he's taking on GOP establishment senators like Corker or Flake, the NFL, North Korea, or anyone else, these battles are carefully choreographed and brilliantly executed. Twitter is currently the most effective venue in what is, in actuality, a multi-front war that covers many battlefields. Trump has gotten into his adversary's decision loop, whomever his adversaries may be, and there's no turning back. His ability to marginalize and ridicule his enemies on social media got him into the White House in the first place and will eventually enable him to get a large part of his agenda passed. Look, it's not even a year that's gone by yet. The Republicans in Congress are running scared because they're starting to believe if they don't pass something like tax reform, they're going to be repudiated by the Republican voters, and that might come in the form of primaries. Already, Steve Bannon is primarying 7 of the 8 Republican senators running for office. Corker already quit. He's not coming back. Flake is probably going to flake out. And on and on. Dean Heller of Nevada, all wimpy, spineless, linguini-spined, you know what I'm talking about, Republicans who stand for absolutely nothing, which is why both parties really need to be abolished and outlawed. We need to outlaw political parties in America. I don't know how we do it, but look, until that happens, we're just going to have 2 criminal enterprises fighting to steal your money. Numerous commentators on all sides of the political spectrum believe that Trump's Twitter rants get him into trouble and damage the standing of the office. And in fact, nothing could be further from the truth. These are very, very effective attacks. And on occasion, yes, he will jump the shark. He will make some comments that appear unthoughtful or not well thought out. But eventually, over the long haul, he's winning the war and will wind up soundly defeating his enemies and anyone else standing in his path to total and complete victory. So, interesting news on that front. It's all starting to turn around. You see it now. Russia has turned into Hillary and Bill Clinton's Russia theft, Russian conspiracy, getting $145 million into the Clinton Foundation to approve the sale of 20% of the United States uranium reserves. It's really another Teapot Dome scandal. Actually, it's worse than a Teapot Dome scandal, at least with Teapot Dome during the administration of Warren Emil Harding. They only sold the U.S. naval reserves, petroleum reserves, off to a corporation or a couple of corporations. I think it was called the Teapot Dome Corporation. Correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, by the way, before I forget, send me emails. I want emails, kl@kerrylutz.com. Don't forget, go subscribe to the show. If you got iTunes, you just go to itunes.com, download the program if you don't have it, and then you go to the iTunes store, search for Kerry Lutz or Financial Survival Network. When you see it, you click subscribe, you click it a couple more times, and then it automatically gets delivered to your computer after every episode, which is really convenient. You don't have to go looking for it. Sign up for our newsletter, financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Got some good articles coming out in the not too distant future. So, look, getting back to Trump, this scandal with Clinton, I've known about it for years, know some of the players involved in it. It is huge, and the MSM is trying to ignore it, of course. And I think it's reaching critical mass. They'll have to create a diversion in order to get the public's mind off of it. Maybe it's not that hard. I don't know. Hey, so by the way, this month, the jobless claims are down to some of their lowest levels ever. Jobless claims, if you're not familiar, are claims for unemployment insurance, and they keep sinking. I think they're at 30, 40-year lows. Maybe Trump is working an economic miracle here. I don't know. Stranger things have happened. But when it comes to employment, when it comes to hiring people, hiring people, to me, being in business, is the most difficult part of running a business. It's so hard to find them. Man, before I found Melissa, forget it. My life was living hell. So if you're in need of great talent for your business, but you're short on time, you don't have to get lost in a huge stack of resumes to find your perfect hire. You just need the right tools, and I would call them smart tools. And what are smart tools? Well, ZipRecruiter.com is one of the smartest tools around. You know that quality hires keep your business moving forward, but you also know it can take a long time to find the right person for the job. So if you're hiring, you got to go to ZipRecruiter.com. And like I said, it's hard to find good people, but ZipRecruiter really makes it easy. You can post your job to over 100 of the web's leading job boards with just a click. So you can rest easy knowing your job is being seen by the right candidates. Then ZipRecruiter puts its really smart matching technology to work, actively notifying qualified candidates about your job within minutes of posting, so you receive the best possible matches. That's why ZipRecruiter is different. Unlike other hiring sites, ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on the right candidates finding you. It finds them for you. And you can even get a head start now on the interview process by adding screening questions to your job post to help identify the most qualified candidates, so you don't have to waste time sorting through a stack of resumes to find the perfect fit. Is it any wonder that 80% of employees who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in 1 day or less? And the easy-to-use ZipRecruiter dashboard lets you manage your hiring process from start to finish all in one place. ZipRecruiter is just the smartest way to hire. Find out today why ZipRecruiter has been used by growing businesses of all sizes and industries to find the most qualified job candidates with near immediate results. And right now, you, the FSN community, can post jobs on ZipRecruiter for free. Yes, I did say free. All you got to do is go to ZipRecruiter.com/Lutz. ZipRecruiter.com/Lutz. You got nothing to lose but your job vacancy. ZipRecruiter.com/Lutz. So our good friend Marc Faber, in trouble yet again. I've only had him on the show a couple of times. He's been hysterical. One time I did a video of him, and it was like 3 o'clock in Thailand where he lives, and he lit up a cigarette, and we got it went near viral. The idea of a guy lighting up a cigarette in the middle of an interview, well, people forgot that it could be done. So what does poor Marc Faber do? Well, Marc is a Swiss guy, so he really is a little older. He's 70 years old. Hey, some of my best friends are 70 years old. I'm not saying that's old, but here's the thing. The older you get, the less of a filter you have. And, it's a weird thing. Your BS, your tolerance for BS just goes way, way down. I mean, I feel myself it's happening as I mature. But what he did, what he said was really, really not a great idea to say. It was really disrespectful of African Americans. I'll let you determine the truth or falsity of the statement, but he got himself fired from Sprott and a bunch of company boards. And here's what he said. I think that to try to deny the fact that the Western white man made America great is just not right. And for that reason, I was attacked very badly. Well, that's his response. But the day before, it came out in his monthly newsletter, the Doom, Gloom, and Boom Report, that, I mean, I couldn't even believe he said it, but basically, I thank God that the white man, or that the black man did not settle the Americas. Look, you know, I don't want to get into the argument of it. You have your opinions. I have mine. I think it was a stupid thing to say. I think it's an unacceptable thing to say by today's standards. But, you know, whether there's truth to it or not is kind of irrelevant. You just don't say things like that. And I don't believe that Marc is a racist. I think he was making a historical observation, and that kind of blew up on him, and he's got fired from off the board of Sprott, Nova Gold, Ivanhoe Mines. He's never going to be on CNBC again. He was always fun to watch on CNBC, but he's toast. So I'm sure I'll be coming back on the Financial Survival Network very shortly, because nobody else will have the guy. Dan Imadori, our good friend over at FutureMoneyTrends.com, interviewed him, where he tried to mitigate and explain what he said, but I think he just dug the hole deeper still. You know, sometimes you just can't win these arguments, and this is one you're not going to win. Now, I think the effect of the white man in settling the Americas, the New World, and in the things that were done, and Faber says this, there was a lot of cruelty that took place, a lot of bad behavior, and a lot of things that were unjust and unfair. And I'm not going to make a moral equivalency argument by saying that the Indians or the indigenous peoples of America were uncivilized themselves. A lot of tribes just engaged in gratuitous violence, killing each other off with little or no provocation, fighting over hunting grounds, over burial grounds. I mean, you name it. They were very violent people. The Comanches, the Cherokees, the Sioux, so many of them were, but a lot of them were not either. A lot of them were peace-loving, peaceful people, beautiful people, and I still love, like, when I go to New Mexico to encounter Pueblo Indians and Hopi Indians. The Pueblos, you know, have a reputation among merchants, but the Hopis are just kind, gentle people. They're really sweet. We did a lot of bad things to them. I shouldn't say we. I'd say the people, the settlers in the 1800s, pushed them out, the Trail of Tears. I mean, they would just kill whole hundreds of buffalo, shooting them and leaving them there in the sun to rot. And the buffalo was sacred to the Indians, so no wonder they had a lot of things that were done to them that was just totally wrong. Hey, did you hear that Japan's lunar orbiter discovered a 50 kilometer cave beneath the surface of the moon, and they think it's suitable for colonization? Hey, so I'm with Jason Hartman, and I'm here in LA right now, and we're talking about the LA thing. I mean, the Las Vegas shooter. And it turns out Jason was in the Mandalay Bay Hotel at the time. He was on the 62nd floor. There's an outdoor bar there that's pretty cool. I've been there many times. And he heard the shooting. He saw the shooting. And he videoed a big portion of it. Now, I can't say for sure that I know the difference between what an M16 or an AR-15 sounds like firing and an M220 or 249. You know, that's the like platoon gun, belt fed or drum fed. But those shots really sounded like they were coming from a real machine gun, not a bump stock. All these people are killed, and all the media cares about and all the government cares about is banning bump stocks. They have no desire to get to the bottom of this. Jason's video is horrifying, compelling, and thought-provoking at the same time. Can't let this one go, folks. Got to stay on the government's behind and get to the truth of this. It's only fair to the country. My gut feel is probably a jihadi-based attack, but can't say for sure. I don't want to start rumors or anything else. It just seems like Pamela Geller said when she came on here that it had all the hallmarks of a jihadi attack, an ISIS attack. They took credit for it 4 times. So if they don't want to give them credit because it's going to frustrate them or do something, I heard there was a video, don't know if it's true, of him, proclaiming his love and his life for Allah. That's Paddock. But they didn't want to release it because they were afraid that it had signals to other cells in the country to unload. I don't know what the deal is going to be here, but I will tell you that there's a lot more here than meets the eye, which is always the case when you're dealing with government cover-ups, right? And it certainly feels like a government cover-up to me. Well, hey, the Democratic Party chairman, Tom Perez, said that Trump is the most dangerous president ever. Yeah, I suppose if you're part of the swamp, he is scaring the hell out of you. And, really, this is just a typical response from swamp creatures. Think nothing of it. So anyways, there's just so many great stories here that I don't even know where to go. I'm just going to kind of leave it here because that's the end of it. I'll be back in the office on Monday, bringing you high quality, high intensity, highly informative content. Email me. I really do enjoy your emails. I'm only like about 15 behind now. It's hard to keep up with you guys sometimes. You send me so many, and they're all good. So that's it for today. This has been another Triple Lutz Report. Kerry Lutz signing off.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.